Good evening, everyone. Today we'll be discussing on the topic SSJS and how SSJS can read data from a data extension. Data extension will have data and we can read information from it using the language called SSJS. We can even do it with AMP also. This is very basic fundamental. Use cases will be discussed as and when we progress in this training. So the first thing is, as we know, we are learning JavaScript. And if you are interested in learning more and getting certified, we have JavaScript developer certification in Salesforce Marketing Cloud also. We have Microsoft certification also on this. This is study for Salesforce JavaScript Developer 1. This is, as I mentioned, very powerful language. Modern JavaScript development, JavaScript skills for Salesforce developer. Why do we need it? Correct? You can even find it in the Salesforce also. There are many places which you can learn. There was some preparation I was preparing for it. Learn to work with JavaScript. You'll find a lot of like this. Make sense? So keep an eye on this one. It's very important. Now let me go back to the developer console, that is developer.salesforce.com URL. You'll find information about the fundamentals. As you people have seen many a times, I'll tell you people to read the documentation, any language, you'll find a documentation of it. So we have GTL. On this, we have server-side JavaScript. In server-side JavaScript, there are two things. One is core, the other one is platform. The functions which is of platform. Under this, you have API functions, two major categories. Platform functions and the core functions. When it comes to platform functions, this will help us to go with platform libraries. Using this, you can read this, documentation is always there. What we have add object array item and more. Let me go into specifically data extension. Data extension functions. And what is the basic we need to do? Delete data is one of the functions which is present. Delete data, delete D, insert data, insert D. All these are the functions which is similar looking to your AMP script functions. Similar looking to your AMP script functions. But if you want to do it again, you have one more here, which is the core library functions. Let's begin with retrieving the data. Data extension functions, add, we have fields, we have rows where we can add a row, lookup, remove, retrieve, and update. So let's go with lookup. And before that, we have something to read and understand in SSJS. That is how to load a platform, which we have done one session before. Today, we'll try to understand this function. This is a case-sensitive function. As I mentioned, this is coming from a .NET platform. Case-sensitive. SSJS is a proprietary language of Salesforce Marketing, MSDN, that is Microsoft.NET. And as you people know, if you want, you can go to Salesforce Marketing Cloud Email Studio. On top of the URL, you'll see a URL which is having default.aspx. Default.aspx. .aspx stands for ASP, Active Server Pages, extended version. X is extended version. So if you get a chance to log into Marketing Cloud, please do that URL check that is being built on .NET. Since it is .NET, SSJS is cleanly and easily being accessed and executed within those .NET servers. So from the day one, when you start creating data extensions, there is an external key, correct? Many people might not know that external key is used in SSJS and external API calls. You might be wondering, where do we use it? The answer is in SSJS. One of the answers. Okay. So what do we need? Initialization. First, initialize the data extension, and then you can retrieve the rows from it, which will be up to 2500. And we have a code here to retrieve it, and the result looks like this, which is in the array format. As I say array, since it is JavaScript, arrays is supported in JavaScript, but it is not supported in AMScript. This is one of the beauty. Array, without array, many programmers struggle a lot. We'll try to have one session on arrays, but for now, this is what we need to do. Let's begin with the first one, data extension functions, and for your information, it's a core library. There is something called platform functions, means which comes from your AMScript, similar looking to your AMScript. Good? Thank you. But what is that we need to remember? SSJS cannot be written in email build, because emails doesn't support JS, JavaScript itself, which is known as plain JS, vanilla JS, many names. So let me start writing the code to retrieve it, and let me explain you each line with an example data extension. The first thing what we need to write is script tag, open and close it. If I write a script tag, then it is a plain JavaScript, but you should use an attribute called runat is equal to server. Now this will be treated as SSJS. This is very important. Single line comment. If you want to explain your code, you can use single line comment using /. If you have to comment multi-line, you can use / star with */. This is used for multi-line commenting. And if I use /, it is a single line comment. Now let us begin with the first function, which is platform.load. And to access data extension, we need two parameters. One is the core library and the version 1.0. That is what it has been mentioned here, 1.0, 1.1, 1.1.1. There are many, so let's go with core library 1, as mentioned with semicolon, very important. The next line is, we need to take a variable in SSJS, preferably if you want to declare a variable. I want to declare a variable called de, and then I'll use this variable to retrieve it. First, you should initialize the data extension. Data, you'll see that data extension dot init, data extension dot init. So if you want to know more about this object and the methods, there is a session on person object and bank object. So please do watch that video to know more about this dot operator. You need to specify the external key within this double quotes. In this example, we are using birthday. You might have seen this like this hyphen in the data extension when you get a chance to look into it. So more readable name would be great in external key. You can change the external key. So let's assume that it is master as an external key, not the name. This is not a name. Master underscore subscribers. Okay. This is the data extension name, and this is the external key of it. So name and external key usually will keep it same when you want to use it in SSJS or any external API calls. API is also not a rocket science. We'll try to have some sessions even on that to understand how to use Postman and advanced REST client. So once this is initialized with this external key, now it's time to retrieve the rows what you need. And to retrieve the rows, we need this object called D, anything which you have named it here. Now it's time to initialize it. After initialization, we need to retrieve it. To retrieve it, we need the function rows.retrieve. This is the function. How do you recognize function is very simple by specifying the round bracket. When you see round bracket, it is a function. You should remember that. Rows.retrieve. And here is the code about it. It's the same code. I'm not doing any rocket science here. I'm just trying to explain each and every line and how does it execute. Okay. And how does it execute. And here is a line which is specifying the object concept. So this is the JavaScript object concept to have the operators, the simple operators or the complex. So let me come back and let me take a variable called rows is equal to DE, data extension object dot rows dot retrieve. Since I'm coming from a .NET background, I would like to go with DE name or DE, anything is fine. So I'll go with DE name. So let's follow the naming convention of SSJS when we try to define our own object, de.rows.retrieve. When I specify this function called retrieve, I should specify one parameter. The parameter will have the string specifies the information to filter for the retrieve. Now we need to have a filter here. If I retrieve this, the sample code retrieves all data from the birthday D data extension. After retrieving this, this is an array of objects. It's an array of objects. If you don't specify anything within the filter, means within the round bracket, it retrieves all the records. It retrieves all the records. Assume that it is only first 4 or 5, and based on that, we want to display it. So we need to know the structure, right? So let me define this master subscriber structure. It's a very simple data extension which has first name, email, and I'll try to have one variable which is available. Is available. So is available is a field. Assuming this is the data extension fields. Fields are mapped to property. So please watch the video on that, which is very helpful. So you can call it as property. So first name is a property, email is a property, is available is a property. First name takes text, email takes email address data type, is available takes Boolean value. Assuming this as our data extension, assuming that it has 5 records, now I need to display it. Rows. You can name anything. So now after retrieving it, how do we display it? So to display this function, we need, if you want to retrieve it. After retrieving it, just JavaScript. If you come from a JavaScript background, it is very simple that it will give us one row at a time using a for loop. So let me write a for loop. It's a case sensitive language. And in this for loop, I'll be having a variable I is equal to 0. As I mentioned, it is an array less than rows dot length. Since it's SSJS, L will be in caps. So you don't find any documentation for this. You should go back and reimagine the SSJS arrays with length. So let's do this within the browser, and I can show you that function also. So let me go to more tools. Yesterday we have recorded a video around this. So let me clear this and let me take a variable X which will have 5 numbers. 10, 20, minus 25, minus 65, 258, 78. This is an array. x dot length. It's a property, and as I mentioned yesterday or in the previous videos, everything in JavaScript is an object. The length is this, and how do I display it? For I is equal to 0, I less than x dot length, I plus plus. Within the flower bracket, let me try to print it using console.log, and I want to print the x of I. X of I will be displaying one at a time, and you can see everything is displayed here. But what we have received is array of objects. It's not one, it's more than one. So as I mentioned, it's more than one. You'll not find any information around it. So you need to reimagine on this. So now response.write. Let me write this response.write function, which will help us to print on the web browser. So in this function, I want to display rows of I dot the field name. This is array of objects. It's not object, it's array of objects. This is how we will retrieve all the fields from each row. When if you get a chance, I would recommend you people to is available. So this is a very basic retrieval. If you want to have additional filters on this is available. If it is true, I want to display it. If not, I want to display only if it is true. As I mentioned, is available is a. So let me improvise this code by writing one more object filter property. What is the property you want to check? And you have the additional operators like is simple. There are many operators. I'll show you where it is located. So you can see property, simple operator, greater than, and value. So three properties and values should be mentioned, greater than or equal to. If you don't know these values, what should be given? Greater than, equals, less than, so we can get it in the syntax guide. In this video, I'll try to show that, or you can Google it also. So let me type it manually, property, simple operator, and value. So I want to do simple operator on this same code. I'm just adding some filters. So this is having 0 parameters, means it will retrieve all the records. If you have any criteria, you can mention it here. First, you should have property, simple operator, double quotes, comma, then you should go with the next one, which is the value. Cool. Value, what I want to check is a Boolean value. You can type it in double quotes or without double quotes. It works. Simple operator, it is equals. Anything which you have as an operator in the language, you can just specify that word here. So property is available, and we are checking with equals operator with value true, and this filter object should be placed here. Now let me try to print it in our favorite JavaScript language. I'll go back to my console and I'll try to reopen this tab, and then please go to more tools. Sorry. So JavaScript is very much required. So let me execute this and confirm that it is an object. So variable property is available. I'm not missing anything. True is not defined. So it thinks that it is like this. So mention it in double quotes. Now if I print filter, this is a JavaScript object which has property in the form of property, simple operator, and value. So yesterday the exercise was on this, just to make you people comfortable. Now I want to have more complex one. Then you can have left operand, right operand, and then the logical operator. How to know all these things is very simple. go to JavaScript syntax guide and you can find all the operators here. If you don't find it here, no worries, you have to do all the search on the Google using MSDN libraries. msdn.microsoft.com. This is where we need to do it. And you will not find any documentation on JavaScript here. They will give you all the wrapper classes which has been specific to SSJS. Any loop, if else, and others, you people have to learn it and then come back and execute this. To execute this code, which will be given in the comment in the description of the video of YouTube, and please do comment whether it was executed or not. If it is not executed, please let me know the error message there so that I can execute it and display it for you. And to execute this, you need a cloud page. Create a cloud page, copy code, paste this, make sure that you have this data extension. Not only the name, we need external key. This master subscriber will be the external key. Rest of the things will fall in place if you have all the three fields in it and some data to display. With this, I'll be ending this video. So only request is everyone will execute this, and please do let me know in the comment of YouTube. Hope you're good with this. So based on your responses, I'll try to work on more examples, more scenarios, and we'll try to cover as much as possible with SSJS. And if required, we'll try to have sessions on JavaScript to know more about JSON, Ajax, and more. Thank you for watching this video. Have a great evening.